Welcome to my first tutorial for the Roblox game Waste of Space. This is the most basic tutorial, going over how to begin playing, game mechanics, and your first base. Feel free to skip the different timestamps for different sections if you're acquainted to some of the mechanics. This is our first of many tutorials to come, and with that over, let's begin our first section. Upon entering Waste of Space, you will come across a main menu screen with 4 buttons: Multiplayer, Tutorial, Reset Data, and Credits. Multiplayer is how you will access the main game. Tutorial brings you to a special tutorial world where the game teaches you the basics. Reset Data will wipe all information on prior games, which essentially means you will not be able to choose your last played planet in the multiplayer section, and your cloning bay information will be wiped. We will go over that later on a different tutorial. Last off, credits will tell you who is working on the game and other information. What you're interested in is multiplayer. Click on it and it will bring you to a screen where you can click these arrows on the side of your screen to choose different spawn planets. These planets are available to all players to spawn on at any time. However, these planets do shuffle every 3 days across the galaxy to different planets. Do not worry about this because the first planet you'll be seeing when you click on multiplayer is the planet you left on. All 3 spawn planets have the exact same resources but slightly different terrain. Any one of them will work, and press continue to be put on that spawn planet. Upon spawning into the game, you will be stuck on an island of different terrain types. There is a day and night cycle. If you spawn during the night, it will be extremely dark and hard to work. So you might want to get a light source like a torch or an electrical light. For now, just try and get a torch. And there are 3 terrain types: plains, desert, and snowy. For now, look on the left side of your screen. You will see 5 buttons with their corresponding keybinds. The top green one is the help menu, which is a menu in which you can search for all parts in the game and some in development or deleted ones. It also has a mechanics section where you can look at some tutorials if you ever get stuck or forget something. I suggest you read the regions and universe parts of the menu and keep thermodynamics and aliens for later. Close the help menu and click on the next one, a white lock with a red background by the key C. This is the lock menu. This menu will allow you to lock certain parts in the world so that they are only usable by you. This locking mechanic can be overridden if a part is damaged enough, but don't worry about that for now. Close the lock menu and go to your next menu, a hammer with a blue background. This is the craft menu where you can look at the recipes and craft every part in the game. Close that for now and go to the next menu, the trash menu with a gray background and a trash bin. This doesn't have an actual menu, but it can be used to destroy any part in the game, such as stone, silicon, and any part that is unlocked. This only works for unlocked parts, obviously. Anything else you'll have to unlock by either destroying it or unlocking it. The last and final menu is the model loader. This is how you would load in pre-made buildings, vehicles, and other contraptions. This is a very advanced part of the game which I will cover in another video. Depending on when you play, you may or may not have other players in your server. Do not worry, these players are simply in other regions of the game and can still be contacted in the chat menu when you select the global part of the chat. All other players across the universe can listen and talk in this chat, so feel free to say hi to anyone out there. You may see if other people are inside your planet within the player list at the top right part of your screen. People already on the planet are likely to be new players like you, or pros wishing to get a fresh start. Watch out and keep an ear out for some loud explosion-like sounds, and this kind of sound is a hyperdrive, meaning either foes or neutral players are leaving the planet, or someone has just entered the planet. These people can be contacted by simply chatting to them, and they may be friendly or hostile. However, if they are coming into the planet, I would suggest you keep your head low, as there might be other players wishing to come and kill you. The next thing you will want to do is set up an extractor on a coal node. There are many ways to gather the necessary resources to make this. I suggest first heading to a stone node to craft an apparel. This is a part which will allow you to make clothing by placing blocks on your character. The crafting recipe for this requires cloth and rubber. To craft cloth, simply mine enough grass to create 10 cloth. Now you will want to create your cloth and your rubber. 10 cloth and 5 as you were. And 5 rubber will do the job. Now create the apparel. Now what you want to do before you put it on is configure it and put it and configure this limb part with your configure tool at the bottom right to torso. Now you'll be ready to put it on. Simply walk over it and you'll be ready to go. Now what you want to do now is head to an iron node. Make a bin from the iron. Simply mine 3 iron to create a bin. Make sure you lock your apparel before creating it, as it can accidentally go into the bin when you create it, like that. So, now what you want to do is mine a bunch of iron. So about 40 to 45 will do. Bins are how you store most items in waste of space. In fact, it's how you store all items. Any item can go into a bin, even bins. So, for this next part, you're going to need to create 4 bins. To do this, you want to craft one by one, as if you create more, they'll accidentally fall into each other and create a bin. You do not want this to happen. So, simply craft one, walk a little distance, craft another, and just keep making until you get 4. Now what you want to do now is resize with your hammer tool your original iron bin to a 2x2x1 and put it on your back. If you can't do it like this, simply create an item from the floor, take off your apparel, put it on, and simply arrange it as like this. And after you put all of these, simply delete the bottom piece and walk over it, and you'll be put it on like new. What you want to do now is lock these bins so that they do not create a bin, as any locked item cannot go into a bin. Now resize these into 1x1s. Now put them on your backpack. This will work as your temporary inventory system before we get a factory running. Each bin can usually hold about 1,000 items. However, if you make them smaller like this, they will not be able to hold as many items. For example, this 1x1x1 bin will only be able to hold 15 items. If you want them to hold more items, simply resize it into its normal size. Now put your backpack on, and this will be your inventory for now. Now what you want to do now is run over to your coal generator. Drop your iron bin off here. We will gather it later. Take off your apparel and put your other bins on it. What you want to do now is gather some stone and copper. Around 15 copper and 10 stone. Before you head back to your coal node, put a piece of sulfur on your backpack. You will need this for an energy cell. Now take everything off your back for now. You will not need the backpack. Now what you want to do is craft an extractor and a power cell. Place the extractor with the black circle facing outwards, and craft a power cell next. Place the power cell right next to it with this bottom line where the red isn't facing downwards, and resize it to a 10x10x10. This is the maximum energy amount that you can hold within a power cell, so you will want to do that. Now, for your next part, this is going to be complicated, so pay attention. What you want to do is craft a chute. Put the chute on the extractor with its face, and resize it so it covers the entire thing, or at least most of it. There is some limitations to most blocks, so you will not be able to resize it fully. Next, craft a wire, and put it on the power cell so that it is connecting to the extractor. Next, you will want to put your coal bin, or create a coal bin, and put it on the chute. Feel free to resize it. Now, with the hammer tool, click configure and click on your extractor. In material to extract, put coal spelled perfectly and with a capital C. Now, craft about 10 wires and then create 2 burner generators. Now put the burner generators on the chute connecting to a wire. Remember, they have to connect to both. Now you will have power running. As you can see, the extractor is making more coal from the power cell. The power cell is running the extractor and making coal, which is put into burner generators, which starts the whole process. Now, in this time, I shall explain the wire system. So, um, the chute and wire system, is very, very important. The wire system, which we will go over first, is how you transport power around the base or other vehicles and things like that. Wires have the same amount of energy at every point in the wire. It does not diminish over distances. All wires have to be connected in order to transport power around, however. All wire systems also require a power cell to work. It will not work with simply a generator or with a generator and a wire. It has to have a power cell for it to work. Now what you yes, my friend. Chutes work in a similar fashion, except they transport items around bins and other extraction machines. A chute can transport an infinite variety of items. Chutes require bins to work, as bins are what hold resources that you are transporting. You cannot craft out of chutes, but you have to be a bit next to a bin to craft out of the bin. You can also take a dispenser and put it directly on a bin to take items out of it. Basic materials like iron, coal, copper, and stone can be crafted directly out of a bin. However, advanced items like extractors require a dispenser to be taken out of a bin. With that out of the way, you need to start up your factory. Once you are sure your power production works, you'll want to expand your factory, as right now what we have is just an energy production, so it really isn't a factory currently. To create a factory, you will want to extract the following: stone, iron, and copper. To do this, simply do what you did with the coal, but without the power cell, the burner generator, and the wire. So, simply go over here to this iron node, build an extractor, put it over there, and what you'll want to do is run a wire and a chute over there to connect. And like so, you will have another iron production up, or you will have iron from now on. So if we run back and connect our iron bin to the chute, we will start gaining iron. Actually, make sure you set it to extract iron before you do that. And like so, you will have iron production. So this is a very valuable resource that you will need to have along with coal. Now we will have to connect copper and stone. Now with your 4 resources being gathered, you will most likely be losing power. To fix this, you just have to create more burner generators. However, make sure you keep an eye on your coal bin and make sure it is not decreasing. If it starts decreasing, you will eventually run out of coal and you will no longer have power. So, keep an eye on both and balance it out. And make sure you lock your parts, because if you do not, you'll use them in local crafting, meaning that you will most likely take apart your base whenever you craft items with things like wires and chutes. And like so, we have positive power production and positive resource collection. So, this will be the end of this tutorial. I will be doing more tutorials soon on how to expand this and get into space. So, thank you for watching. If you need any extra clarification, feel free to contact me or join the Waste to Space Discord for extra help. All of these contacts will be in this description. Thank you for watching.